Welcome to another video for 2peasinabucket.com. This one focuses on using the Close to My Heart photo box. You can see the box here. It's really neat. It's 10 by 10 and it holds anything you want in it. I like to use the 9 by 9 accordion albums that Close to My Heart has, and I'll show that later too. This is how the box comes. It's just plain white, really thick cardboard, I guess, chipboard. And look how easy it is to assemble. You just pop it up and it has a magnetic closure there. Really nice, great finished look. So I'm going to show you how I covered mine. You can cover it with ink, spray paints, whatever you want. I used these Ranger paint dabbers. It's just acrylic paint. You can use any acrylic paint. With these dabbers you're supposed to just dab, but I like to smear it around. It doesn't seem to bother my paint dabber. So after I've covered it with acrylic paint, I use a baby wipe to take off the extra paint and take away all the swoosh marks from the paintbrush or from the paint dabber. And it just gives a nice smooth look. Kind of, if you wipe it off right away, it gives a nice washed out look, which goes great with the Caribbean photos I'll be using in the inside. So here I'm taking off the adhesive and popping the box up. See how easy it is to assemble. And that flap just goes in, and now it's done. Now to fill in these little creases, I just touch a paintbrush to my paint dabber and just paint it in as I would any other acrylic paint. Now I want to add a little bit of stamping to the front, so I'm using some Close to My Heart inks and some Close to My Heart stamps. They have clear stamps that are really high quality. Great images, nice crisp images. So I'm just stamping this right on there. Oops, sorry about that. And it gives a nice tone-on-tone look as it dries. Now after I'm done covering this, I'm going to spray it with some sort of fixative, just so I can ensure that the paint doesn't scratch off or anything, because I'm going to give a couple of these to my kids and I don't want the, I know they'll get handled a lot and I don't want it to scratch off. So I will spray all this with a fixative afterwards. So here I'm just going in and filling in some more images. They're all from the same stamp set. That's one of the other advantages of clear stamps, is they come in sets and you can use all the images together. So here's what I did on the front of the box. So I'm going to show you a little bit of this. First I have these white, it's kind of like chipboard pieces from Close to My Heart. They come in a big piece, you'll see it later, with tons of different shapes. And I like that they're white because you can paint anything on them. Here I'm putting some light yellow paint on it to look like sand. It's real soft, hard to see in the image. And then I'm wiping it off with baby wipes. So now I'm going to add these shapes onto the front. I've already added some Close to My Heart ribbon and just a circle that I cut. Now I'm using just my regular adhesive here, but later I'll go back and squirt a little bit of really strong liquid glue under it to make sure that it stays put. Now here I'm just laying some rub-ons over the image to find out if it fits, and then I'm going to cut out the one I want. These are Close to My Heart rub-ons, and you can see there's lots of great images on these sheets. And I like that they come together with different colors. I think in this pack there's white, brown, and black, so you get good value. Now I'm lazy, and so I use my thumbnail to apply rub-ons. It's just easier for me. So I added a few more rub-ons, and here I wanted to show you how I'm doing the scallop border around the circle. This was just a straight scallop border from a Close to My Heart set. But if you go around and you lightly apply a little bit and then just real gently move it without breaking the rub-on, you can keep moving around the circle to create a scallop around the circle. It takes a little bit of time, but really once you get going you kind of get in a pattern and it's not a problem at all. So you can see I went around the circle. Now I took off my little parentheses so that I could do some stamping. And what I'm doing is I'm taking a piece of transparency and laying it over my image, and now I'm taking a clear stamp image and laying it over the transparency. Now the transparency is going to stick to the stamp, and see how I'm arching it? It helps me to arch it right along the circle's edge. The transparency is holding it. Now I'm picking it up with my mount, move the transparency, and now I can stamp with some blue Close to My Heart ink right around the circle. So that transparency just helped me to get the arch exactly like the circle's arch. And I'm just going to stamp around the circle. Just another fun thing that you can do with clear stamps. Now this expression, one of a kind, came from a Close to My Heart set that has all these different greetings that you can put in barcodes, but I like to use the greetings just by themselves too. Now here, I don't want to overlap, so I'm just kind of masking off quickly that one side. Doesn't matter because that parenthesis will go back over those edges. Now this is the 9x9 album that goes on the inside. You can see one of them here. I did a couple because I did one for both of my kids. And this is the completed project. And I was focusing on the memory box, but I'll show you briefly what I did to the cover of the album. You can see how it's a 9x9 accordion album. Real simple. It comes like this. Really nice product. And now I'm going to cover this with light yellow paint, just like I did on the box. And I'll spray this with a fixative afterwards too. And again, I wiped it off with a baby wipe. Now I wanted to go ahead and do some stamping right away, so I'm just hitting it with a heat gun so it dries instantly. And I'm going to use my paint dabber to get the edges too. Makes it nice and easy. Now there are several pages in here that are 9x9, and I decorated those two with matching Close to My Heart papers and rub-ons and stamps. Now these are those white chipboard shapes that I used for the parentheses on the front, and so they're hard to see in the video. But I just took the scallop frame out, and I'm just painting it like I did earlier, and I'm going to wipe away the excess with the baby wipe again. These shapes are really nice. There's a lot of them stuffed onto that little sheet. It's really a good value. Now you can see this clear tag here. These are also from Close to My Heart, and they come perfectly clear with like frosted areas on it. This one's the heart one. They're called inspiration tags. Now what I did is I just added paint to the back of it and let it dry. And after I've covered the back of it with paint, let's see if you can see in the video, you can kind of see the heart there etched out. And once it dries, it'll be nice and smooth and it'll look really nice. So here's the photo box. I added rub-ons to it also and some gems. There's the album that goes inside of it. There's the album. And here's just a page from the inside. You can see some stamping and some rub-ons on there. And some more. And that's it. Thanks for visiting 2peasinabucket.com.